crafty friends! Today I'm going to be making a lovely flower card using this new die set from Spellbinders. This flower card die set is part of the Flower Shop collection, and it comes with the 2 pieces for the card top, 3 different sentiments, 2 flower dies with coordinating backgrounds for the leaves, 2 different pail sizes, the wood accents, and a wheel. Let's get started. I have pre-cut the pieces here to save time, and I will start with the top using 2 different shades of lavender purple. I put glue on each individual strip and place it onto the solid piece. I made sure to line everything up on both the top and the bottom and press down on each strip just to make sure they are attached. Next, I add the white wood strip to the top before moving on to the bottom portion of the card. The large purple square part of the cart is made using the light lavender from the top, and I attach white legs on the bottom and follow it up with gluing the wood accents around the edge. I started from the top and moved onto the sides. There are actually markings on the purple piece, so I can put the glue there instead of on the smaller wood pieces. I chose to use the "Thanks so much" sentiment, and I used the same darker lavender color as the roof. To add dimension, I used foam squares on the back. I lined up in the center, and as you can see, there's just a little bit of lift and gives it a nice look. To attach the top to the bottom, there are 2 small white strips that act as poles. I add glue to the back of the top piece, and I counted 3 notches in. I want to make sure everything is straight and see how much space I want between the 2 pieces before I glue the bottom on. Once happy, I use a little bit of glue on the back of the bottom to attach the white poles. I did have to adjust it a little bit before the glue dried just to keep the spacing even. Putting the card aside, I start working on the flowers. Starting with the roses, I chose 2 shades of red and 2 shades of green for the leaves. Using my glue, I attach the flowers to the leaves, making sure to line them up with the edges of the leaves. Each leaf die has little markings so you can tell which flowers it goes with. Next, I move on to my white flowers and follow the same process, gluing them onto their coordinating leaves. I have cut the buckets out of silver shimmer paper, and I will be using both sizes of buckets. I take a little bit of glue and place it on the top of the skinnier bucket and adhere the white flower bundles. I repeated the process with the larger buckets and added the roses. I put the flowers aside in a layout that I was thinking would work for the card. Moving on to the background, I have this black and white flower patterned paper, and I cut it to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, as well as a sheet of black cardstock that's 1/8 of an inch larger than my flower paper. I take my double-sided tape to the back of the patterned paper and stick it in the middle of the black cardstock to make my card mat. For final assembly, I want to make sure that I have the layout the way that I want it before I glue everything down. Now that I'm happy with placement, it's time to attach the cart to my card mat. I started with a little bit of glue on the bottoms of the buckets to attach them to the inside of the cart first. I'm making sure that the flowers are on the outside and not covered by the roof. And I alternated the white and red flowers. For this card, I want to leave it pretty thin for mailing, so I'm going to glue the card directly onto my card mat. And I had to adjust it just a tiny bit to make it straight. I want to add the other flower buckets to the bottom of the cart, and for this I used some glue and foam tape. The foam tape was used to make the side not touching the cart the same height so that the flowers were even. For the additional sentiment, I'm using the March Glimmer Foil Club from Spellbinders, and I chose the Mum sentiment to make this card perfect for Mother's Day. I have used black glimmer foil, so it has a little bit of shine. For final embellishments, I'm using 2 colors of pastel gems, yellow and orange. I have these little flower dishes that are actually perfect for pouring these gems in, so I don't have to have them on my desk. Using a small dot of glue in the center of the white flowers, I add the pastel orange to the center of the top right flowers, and the yellow is for the bottom left flowers. I finished the card off by gluing it to my white card base, which is in standard A2 size. I even made a second card. Here's a look at the final cards. I have a link to my coordinating blog post in the description below with clickable links to the products I used. I hope you have a crafty day. Bye!